Hello and welcome to this special edition. That's how I'm going to call it. Um, Today I will be answering someone's question. There was a request, and this person asked me about September 23rd and what September 23rd brings forward to us as humans. And sorry. So I decided to take a look. I found a few interesting things that I'm going to share with you. Um, Before I start, um, I like to look at the charts from a karmic perspective, from karma. So past lives. So by saying this, let's take a look first where the planets are on September 23rd, 2015, Eastern Standard Time, United States, Campanus, and I'm going to be using unequal house system in some charts. Okay, here we're noticing that we have, as probably you know, Neptune in Pisces, the rising sign is in Pisces, the Chiron is in Pisces. So we see a few things going on the 12th house, Pisces in this case, Pisces. Then we have the South Node in Aries, Vesta in Aries, Uranus in Aries, and then we jump to Venus and Mars are in Leo, Jupiter in Virgo, and then we jump towards the Sun, North Node, Juno, Lilith, and Mercury that are in Libra. Then we have on this time we have Saturn that is technically in Sagittarius. It was in Scorpio and now it has entered um, Sagittarius. We have Pallas, the mid coeling or the mid heaven. We have Pluto in Capricorn and Ceres in Capricorn and the moon in Aquarius. That said, now in from a karmic past life perspective, that's how I would like to see it, because for me it gives me a little bit of more perspective of what is the message behind. So when we do look as the chart as a past life chart, we are going to find very interesting things. First of all, we need to look at three things that are very important, which is Saturn, the moon, and the south node, because all three of them represent our past life, where we used to have experience, okay, where we do have the skills, and these are more or less the same thing, where we have more experience, our life experience, but this time is more like emotionally. And then the south node is also the same concept, is past lives. When we look at the three of them, we get a very interesting dynamic. What we get is Saturn in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is related with laws, philosophy, religion, higher education as well. Then we have Aquarius that is related with humanity, with everyone as a group, community. Okay? And then we have past life, also represented by the south node, which is in Aries. So it's giving us, Aries is more about me, myself, and I. It's not selfish, but it's a very individualistic approach of life. But it's the way it should be, because that's how we we are when we're kids, when we're babies, the world spins around us. It's all about me, me and me. And then we are learning, and eventually when we end up having a more worldwide perspective, well, in theory it should be like that. So when we put that together, we start having a very interesting topic emerging here. But then before I jump into the interpretation, we have also to remember that Saturn means, in a very positive way, is how to be very, very practical about something. In this case, about being practical related with religion, philosophy, spirituality, higher education, laws, and all that stuff that I already mentioned before. In a very negative way, it could mean some degree of stubbornness, obstacle, stubbornness. It is the way it is, that's how I want it to be. Very rigid, because at the end, Saturn is represents this plane, our world, the material world. Things are dense, and that's why it is related with bones, because bones are technically strong, rigid. So we're talking about points of view that are very, very rigid. Philosophy, spirituality, and religious points of view that are very, very rigid. Then we have Aquarius. This is all about community, us, our place in society. And then we have Aries, that is very individualistic. When we put the three together, what we're bringing forward, the karma that we are going to be working, technically speaking, the karma that the universe is bringing or is activating for us on September 23rd is about individualistic, egocentric perspective of life. It is the karma that is want us to work is about us, society, and our views. The karma that we're bringing forward, that we want to work, or the universe want us as humans to work, is, in other words, related with being individualistic, selfish, egocentric regarding our point of view, regarding our philosophy of life, regarding our spirituality and our religion. Okay, and that's what we're seeing in the United States, where people, they stand in a very rigid way. This is what I believe, and everyone else has to technically abide by, and there's no room for any other point of view. And that's the kind of energy that is bringing forward the universe that we need to start working with. Okay, we need to learn to be very practical and not rigid. It's not about me, it's not about my religion, it's not about my point of view. It's about what is good for the whole community. It's not about individualism, it's about collectivity. That's technically the karma that we need to solve. And the axis that is heavily emphasized in this chart is Aries Libra. And Libra is about following the rules, the laws established by society. And notice that the North Node is there, the Sun is there. The Sun is the self, is where this incarnation, because I was talking about past life memories that were very individualistic. But now the sun and the north node are indicating that we really need to focus in abiding by laws that are going to be more universal, to learn our place in society, in accepting other points of view, while at the same time we preserve our uniqueness. Okay, that's technically what it is. We have Juno here that is all about sacrifices. So we really need to learn to stop being individualistic, selfish, egocentric, or whatever adjective you want to use. And we need to learn to compromise. That's technically where the universe is guiding us. That's the energy. And that's why I like to first look at a natal chart as a past life chart, because it gives you a very interesting perspective of things. Okay. Then we have Mercury and Lilith there. This is about a voice of independence, a voice of our own. But at the same time, we need to live together on that voice. Let me change the chart so you can see this better. And now you're going to start seeing how everything falls in its place. Notice that, for example, house number 1 is loaded, is very active. The same thing with house number 7, is very, very, very active, is loaded with a lot of energy. Everything else has 1 planet, maybe 2 planets, but the axis that is heavily emphasized is the axis of Aries and Libra, that is about individuality and collectivity. Is about following the rules of society, abiding by the rules, obeying the rules, learning to navigate by the rules for the well-being of everyone else. Okay, it's not about me. This is not the time to be the martyr. Okay, it's not the time for that. That's technique is pushing us into a complete different direction. The universe. We have here, sorry, we have here Vesta. Vesta is all about focusing in just one thing. And notice that it's very, very close to the south node. It's 6 degrees apart. So we could say that is kind of a conjunction here. It's a Y conjunction, but it's very close. So what it's doing is focusing the energy on stop being egocentric, very individualistic society, and learning to live on what is good, the common good of society. Okay. And that's the kind of energy that is bringing forward this energy for the 23rd of September 2015. Now, something that is even more interesting is the fact that, notice here we have Pisces here that starts the first house, and then the second house starts with Taurus. It should start with Aries. And Aries, the energy of Aries is trapped in house number 1. That is its own house, but it's trapped there. So it cannot, it's like being claustrophobic. It is energy that is building up and it needs a way to express itself. Okay. And that is what we call intercepted sign. This is an intercepted sign, or you could call it intercepted house, but it would be an intercepted sign. and is trapped. The energy cannot be expressed, fully expressed. But notice that we have Uranus here, and Uranus is a very strong planet. It's a planet that loves rebellion, but rebellion not in the wrong perspective. It wants rebellion because it wants something different, it wants progress. But when it's channeled in the wrong way, then we see rebellion that is materialized in a most dense and negative way that we all know. Riots, looting, and all this kind of stuff. But Mars, which is the ruling planet of Aries, is in house number 6 in Leo. Again, a sign that is egocentric. There's nothing wrong about being egocentric, but the problem is that this energy needs to be expressed, and the only way that is going to be expressed is by house number 6 is about service, serving other people. Okay, so it's this energy of individualism has to be totally annihilated, because it's not about me anymore. It's about us. It's about me being Jewish and you being Pentecostal, being Jehovah's Witness, being a Seventh-day Adventist, being a Santero, being a Buddhist, being a temple. Is about us. And we need to learn how we can service humanity this way. Leo Aquarius axis. Okay? Notice that Mars is on a degree that is 29 degrees. So it's switching. It's going to switch to Virgo anytime soon. So it's indicating that in any time soon there's going to be a change. Okay, there's going to be a change. This a new cycle is going to be activated anytime soon. Okay, sorry. Now, what we really need to focus now is something else. And what we need to focus is that here we obviously have planets that are opposing each other. Okay, we have planets that are opposing each other, while we have planets here that are creating some sort of what we call square, that is friction. So it is emphasizing, let me go to the data and let me show you what I mean. Okay, so we have, for example, Pluto, which is in Capricorn. It is square with Mercury. Okay, so we're going to start seeing frictions, control and manipulation of information, media, communication. There's manipulation there, and there's going to be a friction, there's going to be a clash. Okay, then we have Pluto again, square Uranus, and then Uranus is going to be in opposition with Lilith, and with Ceres is going to be making a square. So we're talking about a T-square here. Technically, that's what we're talking about, a T-square. So it's creating Pluto, and then we have this here. You see? We have here a T-square, technically speaking. You see? So this energy, there's a lot of friction, and how this is going to be released. So we have Capricorn, Pluto, Capricorn, 11th house, objectives. Okay, it's about objectives, goals, society, groups, society. So what is going to happen? There's going to be changes. There's going to be changes in the dynamic of how we understand society, we like it or not. Pluto is could be good and it could be bad. It depends. It could be very empowering, or it could be very a tyrant, very despotic. It all depends, but the energy is there and it has to be manifested some way, somehow. Okay? And then we have to remember the house number 11 belongs to Aquarius, the moon, which is about our past life, like I said before. But the main topic here is about being selfless. Otherwise, what we bring, in other words, let me put it in a very categorical way. What we're doing here, we are trying to solve karma from past lives as a planet, as humans. I'm talking about the Inquisition as an example, where stubbornness, religious stubbornness, rigidity, my way or no way, led to a lot of control and manipulation. It was very individualistic, and it affected, obviously, society, the collective, the fabric of the society as a whole. But now, life, the universe, is pushing us to the complete different direction. Okay, it's pushing you and pushing us into a complete different direction. It's about living in harmony. That's technically what the universe wants us to do. Okay. The fact that we have Neptune here on the rising sign in conjunction is letting us know that this is going to create a lot of confusion. But in a past life chart, Neptune is all about sacrifices. So it's indicating where we need to do sacrifices, and it's about individualism. We need to sacrifice our ego. Technically speaking, that's the message that the universe is bringing for us. Okay, that's technically the message. Let me see what else I can say here, but that's overall, that's what we have here. Then we have September, and then I went to October, and I'm gonna be back again, but let's go to October 11th, midday, and notice that again the emphasis is the same. The axis of the ninth, of Aries and Libra, that's the emphasis, but this time is falling on house number 9, the house of spirituality, the house of philosophy, religion, okay, and loves. So we really need to learn to abide by the law, by the rules, and learn to be together in harmony. It's not about me, okay? It's not about me as Catholic, as a Jehovah's Witness. No, it's about us humans. Okay? That's the message. But then notice again that the dynamic is going to be more or less the same. Is going to be some kind of T-square here. There's going to be an opposition, and then we have Pluto here. The energy is going to emerge in some place. And then here we wouldn't be I won't be surprised if we start seeing some kind of group government that is kind of tyrannic, very controlling, manipulative, um, that don't want to let go. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because that's the energy that is manifesting. And anyway, notice that is again trapped. Is Sagittarius, Aquarius, and then we have Capricorn trapped here. The energy is trapped. So therefore, Capricorn, Saturn, and Saturn is in house number 12 in Sagittarius. So it's teaching us brotherhood. It's about learning to be practical and be inclusive, not exclusive. It's about being inclusive, about being brothers and sisters, regardless of what we believe, what we practice, or our lifestyle, philosophy of life. That's technically the message that is being activated on September 23rd. And it's going to go through for the rest of the year. And that's what we're going to start seeing here. But it's going to be a very tense dynamic, because we have squares here and a lot of opposition. We have Uranus in house number 3, the house of communication. So there's going to be a lot of rebellion, fight, arguments, quarrels. But again, we have Vesta and the South Node that is letting us know that it's time for us to leave that behind and focus in something different. Okay, that's technically the message that the natal chart is bringing forward for us as humans. Okay, we had Mars in its own house, but in Virgo. So this is all about taxes. Notice that this is in conjunction. We are going to start also seeing, because we have here the axis of house number 2 and 8, which is Taurus, Scorpio. This is about money, but we have Virgo, Pisces. This is all about the service to others. Okay, so we're going to start seeing also movement, very universal movement, where people want, in this case, universal health care. They want everything to be universal. Colleges are tuition free, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of movement that we're going to start seeing. Jupiter, that is related with education, which is higher education. Others, house number 8. So it's about taxes and how to use the money that society generates for the well-being of everyone else in society. But that's in a perfect world, and what we're going to start seeing is a clash between me, you, what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like, etc., etc., etc. Let's go to September again. Let's take a look at the economy first thing. Economy. And economy, we have to look at house number 2, house number 5, and then we have to look at house number 8. Technically, we could say that forex exchange is represented by 258, currency 258, real estate house number 5, but anything related with the economy is represented by house number 2, 5, and 8. Notice that house 2 is empty, but it's Taurus, and it's Venus. Venus is in Leo, house number 6. And then we have Virgo, which is in house number 7. And then we have house number 5, Cancer. So Taurus, we have Cancer in house number 5. The moon, Aquarius. And I'm sorry, is Leo is in house number 6, but is also the sun, which is in Libra. So again, the emphasis is technically how we can use our resources as a country to benefit others. But once again, there's going to be a lot of conflicts, a lot of fight, a lot of arguments. Okay, so don't expect things to settle down very easily without a fight. Technically, that's what it is all about. Um, Regarding Wall Street, or any other index like the Dow Jones, Dubai, um, Hong Kong, all those indices that measure financial stability, we have to pay attention that Saturn is in house number 8. So there's going to be a lot of restructuring. There's going to be a reset. So in other words, and then notice that Mars is in Leo, house number 5. So expect a lot of chaotic energy, if you want to call it like that. So don't expect the markets to behave in a bullish way. It's going to be the other way around. It's going to be very, very bearish. Okay, and I think that you are seeing that already. And if you have been following my worldwide analysis videos where I use my tarot cards, you're going to see that what I'm saying is what is happening already on my videos. Okay, so don't expect a great resolution for now. Okay, I already mentioned about October. October is more or less the same topic that I mentioned before, but I want to go to November. And November, notice November, let me do this because this is a little bit more helpful for me. So notice that for November, I want to look at Mars. Notice that Mars again is 29 degrees switching to Libra. So it's changes in society, laws, regulation, laws, and all the kind of stuff. And then we have I'm just trying to figure out which is the axis that is going to be activating the most here. And obviously it seems like it's going to be the Libra areas, but not that much. But it's signaling a change, and another change that is happening. Notice house number 1, house number 7 is technically loaded. House number 1 is Aries, Libra, but this time is more Pisces, Virgo. Pisces, Virgo. So it's all about us as a group, helping each other as a group. But what I really want to take a look is that here we have Uranus. Well, actually, let me go to this other one. I'm sorry. Here. We have here Libra, Aries. This is 17 degrees. This is 5. It's a very far opposition, but still the energy is going to be felt. And notice Capricorn house number 7 with Pluto there. So this is all about the rise, the possibility of the rise of governments are going to be very, very, very totalitarian, very despotic, along that line. Just expect that. Okay, we might see that happening. When it's going to happen, I don't know, but the activation is already there. Okay, so we are going to start seeing that kind of dynamic here. Let's go here on November 11th, and let's go and look at the chart, the data of the chart, and let's see the squares. I'm more interested in the squares, and I'm more interested in the squares of Mars. So we have here Mars in opposition with Vesta. We have that is making a square with Pallas, and even though this is not very significant for many astrologers, this is signaling that there's going to be a lot of friction related with diplomacy. Diplomacy. So I've been saying about governments that are becoming a more totalitarian, more controlling. That might be signaling currency wars. So we're going to start seeing a lot of friction in talks, diplomacy. If you look at Mercury, notice that Mercury is going to be in square with the rising sign on November 11th, and the rising sign is nothing more, nothing less than Aquarius, the group as a society. So it's going to be a very heated month. From September on is going to be a very, very heated month. And then we have to realize that elections in the United States are around the corner as well. So we have also to take under consideration all these aspects. I'm just giving you something brief, but what I really wanted to bring forward is the message that is bringing forward September 23rd, 2015 for us. Okay, so that's what I have for you, my dear friends. I hope that this find you well, and it does help you a little bit to understand the dynamic of what is going on around the world, what might happen. But in summary, we already know that the universe is trying to make us fix past life events. I gave the example of the Inquisition, where rigid views were imposed. Now is, instead of being so exclusive, is all about being inclusive. Is what is good for all of us, not for one group in particular. Um, the possibility of a lot of control manipulation is right there. So we're talking about a high possibility of currency wars. This is going to trigger a lot of problems that might force many countries to into diplomacy mode, but it's going to be very there's going to be a lot of friction, technically speaking, regarding diplomacy. Okay. um I think that with this I more or less summarize everything regarding Wall Street and all the other markets. Don't expect them to behave bullish, expect all the opposite, to be more bearish. Okay, so with that, I leave you until the next one.